This video is brought to you by Astroyale, a battle royale card game that is totally the Uno killer that was entirely developed by me. Haha! Welcome back to Handsome German, the only show on the internet. I love Beyond Good and Evil. It's been one of my favorite games ever since it came out, with its colorful world, equally colorful characters, incredible soundtrack, and surprisingly mature storytelling. I love it more than Denise Takes loves calling herself a bad bitch. However, due to its low difficulty, it's all too easy to fumble your way through it without much thought. Stripping away the powerful themes and excellent presentation, we're left with a solid enough Zelda-esque adventure game with some very strictly designed stealth encounters that don't leave much room for creativity. I previously found it hard to tell how well designed the mechanics, enemies, and set pieces actually are. I firmly believe that a good action game must be beatable without taking damage, especially if it's based around stealth and melee combat. So, forever ago, I created a little mod titled Get Good and Evil that reduces the hit points of Jade, her companions, and the hovercraft to 1. Not 1 heart, to 1. Any little thing is an instant kill. Any mistake sends you back to the last checkpoint. In a game where you can usually survive 5 to 10 hits and carry infinitely stackable healing items with you, this is gonna be a big deal. If you want to hear me talk about the story and world building, I recommend you check out my Over-Analyzing Beyond Good and Evil series right after this. Here I'm only going to be discussing gameplay. So grab your whacking and or selfie sticks and let's go turn a baby kids game for babies into an absolute nightmare. First battle at the Lighthouse. Just smack the doms around, there isn't much else to this. Make sure you actually pay attention to the sarcophagi lighting up, since you'll be in trouble otherwise. Down into the pit with Paige and we'll have to act quick. Even a moment of hesitation when charging up your super attack is going to get your piggy pal roasted by the laser in seconds. Once free, stick close to the Spirit Eater and repeatedly super attack it. Don't bother dodging, as pretty quickly either the sarcophagi or the laser are going to get to Paige otherwise. We pick up a PA-1 for funsies. As you can see, they're completely useless in this run, and so are all healing items. After patching up the hovercraft, we fight our first Dom's serpent. I'm pretty sure its front-facing lasers are just for show, but the mines it drops can very easily land directly on your roof. On the Black Isle, the battle against a jellyfish is surprisingly challenging, as Paige seems to enjoy getting zapped a little too much for his own good. The jellies telegraph their attacks very poorly, so in the thick of it, it's basically impossible to tell when they'll strike. Spam Paige's ground pound over and over again to keep the beasties in the air and under control. When headed down the secondary shaft on your way back, make sure you avoid the ambush by slowing down for a second. I got outsmarted by a jellyfish. I'm not proud of this. Careful with the Polyneruses, they can kill you for like no reason. As with all enemies that can be knocked into the air, keep spamming the ground pound and launch them into walls and off of cliffs. Only problem here is that it sometimes just doesn't work for some reason. The Tyrolimax is super easy. Fight it like you always do and you'll be just fine. Over in the transit district, we're gonna have to slip by a bunch of lasers. It's not terribly hard, but I didn't want to skip past a full hour of gameplay without Next we engage in a scrap with Dom's fighters. Be careful not to get randomly hit by bombs. Their explosions' hitboxes linger for way too long. Avoid these green rings like they're being handed out by the Jonas Brothers. Let's stop by Looter's Cavern 2. Oh, let's come back when we have more health.
Hello.
Oh god, no. Oh god. Next up we face a bunch of crawly ribbits. Easy enough. Laser bot, not a challenge. The Reaper. Whenever it jumps up and out of reach, wait for it to land before you aim. That way, the camera will snap to it automatically and you can finish it off quick and easy. Potato bots. Ground pound and launch. Easy peasy, tater squeezy. Just be aware that they are invincible while flashing red and will kill you if you try to attack them during that time. The Dom's attack is quickly dealt with. Protect Paige so it doesn't get his snout slashed off. Stealth in the factory is no problem whatsoever. Just sneak past the guards, and for an additional challenge, try not to yell at or misgender any of them. It's fine if you do, you'll probably get promoted, but you know, we are playing hard mode. Double laser bots. Perform a full combo on one to mess up its targeting. Then focus on destroying the other. That way you won't get blindsided. We'll avoid 2 more guards without touching them in a way or in a place that makes them feel uncomfortable and move on. At the start of our next session, we see Jade only walking while L3 is pressed. Interesting. Here we have 2 guards just kind of vibing. We peacefully coexist with them, forcing ourselves neither into the situation nor the guards. Oh no. Yes, hi Evie, it's me. Good. How are the wives and kids? Oh, good. Hey, listen, it happened again. No, only 2 this time. Oh, okay, thanks. Metal Gear Dom's time. Somehow this boss is even easier than the Tyralamax. After you knock a leg up, dodge backwards to avoid the shockwave when it falls. That's all. It's a joke. The laser shaft is one of the cooler set pieces in BGE, but it's always been undermined by the ridiculous amount of health you have. With only 1 HP, however, it's actually super intense and very rewarding to get through, if a little frustrating at times. Nothing wastes more time than trying to save time, I said, wagging my finger like an old man, so be patient and take this one slow. We're facing our first instant kill bots now, which means no fun allowed. At least we get to smell their hair. Next up, we'll have to be on an elevator with a guard who cheekily presents their cheeks to us. We accept another promotion and relocate to a different studio. Next up, the first chase sequence. Obviously, we dodge all the bullshit, but then we have to make a sharp turn here and preferably do a little dive roll. The first time I played this section in Get Good and Evil, it took me 12 tries. If you run at any other angle, you're almost guaranteed to get zapped. In the Vorax Layer, we fight a bunch of Polinaruses again? Which is weird, but okay. Same strategy as last time. God damn you. We give the Vorax a swirly and take its lunch money. We're going to clear Looter Cavern 4 first because I felt stubborn that day. Take your foot off the gas when rounding corners and use the boost to get through closing doors at the last second. Remember that you only have to go fast while the yellow spark is traveling. You can play it safe the rest of the time. Ah yes, the road to the slaughterhouse. There is no rush most of the time, so focus on evasion over speed and only go full hog while jumping gaps on the road. There's another sarcophagi encounter at the gates of the slaughterhouse. This battle is really only a challenge if you try to get a picture of the spindly fuckers. Kill them fast, or else they will eventually take out Doppelmoppel, and we wouldn't want that now, would we? During a regular playthrough, the ensuing laser corridor is usually over in just a few seconds. Just tank a hit or 2 and you're in. In GGE, however, it's a very different story. Carefully inch your way past the beams, and don't forget that you can actually rock the floating turrets, which will change the angle the lasers are projected at, completely destroying any rhythm you may have thought you managed to discern. And when I said inch your way past, I meant go slow but also fast, because otherwise you'll get lasered from behind. Got it? Great. Jetpack bot coming up. Just like we did with the Reaper, it's best to wait for it to stop moving before using the camera's auto-aim to score 2 quick and dirty hits. Like, holy shit, the camera sensitivity on PC is absolutely atrocious. We score another easy kill on a laser bot before moving on. A little love tap never hurt anyone, right? Taterbot throwdown, same rules as always. We resist the urge to perform the double Irish shuffle here because we learned our lesson and promised to improve our behavior. Well, half of that is true. We commit actual murder and... wait, oh, that doesn't look good. Hey Evie, me again. Yeah, oh, you heard. Yeah, what am I saying? It's your company, of course you heard. Yeah, no, it would be hilariously dishonest to pretend you had no idea. Montpellier is beautiful this time of year. Yeah, no, sounds good to me, thanks. We'll be passing by guards forced to work in an environment covered in thick, unending, definitely toxic smoke. We're back to fighting 2 laser butts again, same strategy as last time. Just be careful not to dodge into the Tesla coils like a complete fucking Frankenstein. Next up is the cafeteria. At least that's what I think it is? Kinda hard to tell with everyone just walking around because they can't afford food. Of course we can't forget their inhuman supervisor who will instantly terminate you if you're spotted slacking off during your lunch break. Stealth in Beyond Good and Evil really loses all of its edge if you've played it before. You know exactly where to move when, and there's no faster way to go about it. The mines grow back? That took 10 minutes, and I am deeply ashamed. We might as well fight this guard head on. Surprisingly easy considering how intimidating they look. Dodge attacks to the side and counterattack. That being said, if there are multiple guards and you're by yourself, you're almost definitely getting hit by a stray laser, grenade, or union sooner or later. Here we have a set of mines that is incredibly easy to avoid unless you're a big fucking klutz. A massive embarrassment to everything the Iris Network stands for. And fuck. Welcome in Omicron. You and your friend are dead. Let the fuck begin. The jumping trilobites are by far the single worst part of Beyond Good and Evil. The camera is way too close, the fuckers just keep coming, and worst of all, their wind-up animation is like 1 frame long. If they decide you are double trouble or dead, you are dead right then and there. So I throw myself at the shit show over and fucking over again. Since the ground pound freezes the trilbies in place, I figured I ought to just spam that, but it didn't help much. Being too far away from the doubler gets him killed guaranteed, so maybe stick with him? Except that barely helps at all either, and limiting your movement that much makes you incredibly vulnerable. So, get this. Get fucking this. I'm dead fucking serious right now. I beat this encounter by blindly spinning the control stick clockwise and mashing A and B for a minute straight after I had given up on the entire run and decided to just fuck around out of sheer frustration. This battle is so poorly designed, you need to play like a monkey on Cocoa Puffs to get through. We dropped 2 guards off of cliffs. Look, I know I made a lot of jokes about the shit ground level Ubisoft staff has to put up with, but this is not a joke. Evie actually dropped 2 employees off of a cliff. He calls it Hurling Day. Oh, what the fuck? It was that easy this whole time? Sea Serpent sequence. Stick to the slithering sucker, swerving out of sight as soon as it seductively... Why did I write that? Chase the serpent, don't mess up the jumps, and as always, avoid the green death rings like they're... Z-bananas. Do you guys remember Z-bananas? Anyone? After the game's final stealth sequence, we are thrust into a chase with Feels Good Man. While this is arguably the most memorable sequence in the entire game, it's also extremely easy and leaves no room for different approaches. Jetpack bots at the Lighthouse. Nothing to worry about here, same procedure as every year. Final Serpent. This one's a little more interesting. Instead of running away from you, it'll actively try to ram you if you're not looking at it. Took me a couple of attempts to figure out how to avoid the initial attack, but turns out Jade saying I won't let him out of my sight was a genuine tip on how to beat this one. It may be a little too subtle for a tutorial, but the subtlety is appreciated regardless. Volcano Treasure is up next, and it's not challenging at all. Voraxes are way too slow to attack, making it laughably easy to flush them down the drain and embezzle their college funds. Before going to space, we'll do some cleanup on the ground because I can't not 100% BGE. See you on the moon! We face down 2 guards, one of which is easily sniped from afar, unless he randomly hears you or randomly doesn't hear you. Generally, if you can get away with it, you should charge up your super attack while hiding behind a corner and then unleash your staff on their backsides with all the force you can muster. That's disgusting. Alrighty, Star Fox time. It's both challenging and fairly straightforward. The only real trick to learn is how to dodge the pink laser. There's a gap at 7 o'clock, so get on down there when it charges up, while also making sure that his options don't happen to be headed there too. Paige is a fucking moron. Inside the spider, we 3v3 some guards. Run to the opposite side of the room and have the double effect headbutt the back of the first guard. Using the headbutt against aware enemies will force them to get out their shields, locking them in place. Use this to flank them and stop them from killing your compadres. This works sometimes. It's a surprisingly great moment of cooperation compared to the same battle in regular BGE. When heading towards the landing pad, you'll have to avoid enemy fire until reinforcements arrive. I originally thought the Hylians only show up after you've taken a certain amount of damage, but it's actually on a timer. Just keep moving and shoot down as many bogeys as you can manage. I don't know if they respawn, but you might as well have fun while you're here. Once the cavalry appears, fly straight to the landing pad to get out of this bullet hell as soon as possible. Time for the final boss! This is gonna hurt! Phase 1. Kill the Doms as quickly as you can so they don't get a chance to fuck things up for you. When the priest is firing his laser, take cover behind Triple Z's shield and fire at Disc at Spiderface. Phase 2, the priest will start summoning Paige clones. Use them to shatter the center crystals and then launch another one right up the priest's nose. Gyro discs also work, but take multiple hits to get the job done. Phase 3, now he's getting his hands dirty. He strikes after a set time, or if you attack in the wrong direction. This is important to know, as you actually have a lot more time to react to his attacks than you probably thought you did. Phase 4. The double H doubles are defeated by sidestepping a hammer swing and countering immediately. This is also where I learned, the hard way, that you should probably just hold down the run button at all times to increase the range of your dodge drastically. Phase 5. Once all the clones are dealt with, your controls will be reversed. This is easy to compensate for at first, but every time you die in Phase 5, you restart from Phase 4. Meaning, if you suck at video games, you'll have to repeatedly switch back and forth between inverted and uninverted controls. I had a pretty bad headache after this one. The wave of Doms is easily dealt with, leaving only the priest who alright. The priest is actually not that bad if you learn his patterns by heart. He'll appear left, right, above, right, in the back, above, and done. Hey, Evie, I've been thinking, isn't it time to move forward? I know you love that word. Leave these practices behind, become a better company, remove the Doms, unionize the guards. Your output would improve so much. Were they happy to be working for you? You can't undo the past, but the future is in your hands. Isn't it time to change? To evolve, if you will? No, I don't think there's a poison type evolution. There's Umbreon, that's pretty edgy too. Yeah, it's the black one. Hello? And with that, we have definitive proof that yes, you can beat Beyond Good and Evil without taking damage. It would just take a lot more practice than I'm willing to put in. So hey, you speedrunners out there, if you want to prove that you're actually good at the game, this is how you do it. If you'd like to attempt this challenge, make sure to download Get Good and Evil via the link in the description. Your antivirus is probably going to give you a false positive, but you trust me, don't you? Thank you so much for watching through to the very end. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos about whatever the hell I damn well please. And before we go, just a quick reminder that yes, this video was brought to you by Astroyale, the Battle Royale card game for all the family. I made it, and you can buy it via the link in the description. Buy it to support my dream of having $2. The profit margin is very slim on these. I'm selling them as cheaply as I can, believe you me. And I'll see you next time, probably with Pokemon or Sifu or seafood. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye.